Okay, so we're going to talk about the Early Start Denver model. So this is a model that they use a lot of times with younger kids, ages 12 months to 48 months. Um, it's basically talks about the first step. It really talks about getting the child's attention because they learn a lot when they're paying attention to the parents or other people around them because they learn a lot off of what they are doing. So they get a lot of, we'll talk about it later, they imitate a lot of people. So they get a lot of their learning from watching other people play and do stuff like that. Now with a child that has autism spectrum disorder, they lose out on a lot of that learning opportunity because they don't, they're not as interested in watching other people do activities. They're kind of focused on their own things, so they lose a lot of learning opportunities, like learning from people's body languages, their facial expressions, and words that they use for certain things. So they lose a lot of that. So basically, the most important thing is having fun with the child, because when they have fun, it usually equals a faster learning. So they'll learn a lot faster.
They learn through playing.
Yeah. So they get if they're not having fun, they will learn a lot less than compared to when they're having fun. Now, children with autism spectrum disorder, they don't really get that as much natural reward from play as some other children. So they do lose out on a lot of that learning through play because
they can't focus.
Yeah, they just don't get that natural reward, the fun, and they don't always find other things as much fun.
Their curiosity level is not as impactful.
They're more focused on one thing. So one other good thing is back and forth interactions. So it helps with social development and communication. So like taking turns. So it's very, very good to teach them to take turns from a very young age, because a lot of children with autism spectrum disorder, they have less kind of sense of whose turn it is. So a lot of that learning comes from taking turns. So I see you have a lot of stuff that a lot of sensory boards that she does and everything like that. So just even taking a couple times to take turns. So maybe you have it, you go once, and then you go, okay, your turn. And she goes, and then so that she learns that it's different people's turns.
Yeah.
It's real.
You'll be in a second. So another important thing is nonverbal communication is huge, because the babies, before they learn speech, they've got to be able to read people's expressions and other things like that. So your nonverbal communication with them is also very big, because they learn from an early age. You know, a lot of times parents give their child their look and they stop because they understand from a young age that...
Like now.
Yeah. So they've learned that even without speech, some things have consequences, or they know what you're telling them without even using any kind of words. Now, a lot of times, children with autism spectrum disorder don't gain that information because they have...
Stop looking.
Hey,
Come sit.
what is the glue? You just sit down. Oh, this girl. Just sit here.
Stop looking.
So a lot of times they don't...
Stop looking.
children with autism spectrum disorder, they don't really see they're not focusing on people, so they don't gain that non-verbal communication skills. So they're not really good at reading people's facial expressions, or body language. So they're uncomfortable with someone around them. Or someone's uncomfortable around them. They can't really read the situation and understand. Maybe I'm too close to them. Maybe I'm doing something that I shouldn't be doing because they haven't gotten that nonverbal communication skills that they get.
She's counting in Spanish.
And then another big thing is the kind of doing do what I do, kind of the imitating. Imitating is a big part of where they learn, so they can learn words, sounds, actions, facial expressions. So even just playing with her animal toys and making animal noises, and then if she start trying to get her to imitate animal noises that you're doing with the animals, like cow goes moo, which I've heard her do a couple times. But that's a big thing, is doing stuff where you have imitation or turn taking or nonverbal communication. Now, children with autism spectrum disorder don't have as much imitation because they're not watching as much as. So gaining that child's attention is huge, because the more attention you can get from the child, the more they can learn. And so they're not as far back when they start school as they can. So you want to make sure that you have your child's attention a whole lot. So, like I said, doing imitation games, stuff like that. So like this is perfect. So this for the turn taking. So you have this, and then you have the bingo chips, and okay, it's my turn. Okay, Delaney, now it's your turn, and have her go, and then just kind of focus on being, okay, my turn. Okay, your turn, and see if she starts to pick up on turns and work through that, and then so that she can gain that skill of waiting and taking turns, because a lot of times their wait time is a lot shorter than
Yes. Especially toddlers.
So getting to work on that wait time is also very important. Delaney, you're needed.
Delaney, come on. Let's do an activity. Yeah, come on. We're going to take turns. Yeah, bingo chips. We're going to take turns.
Okay, go ahead and sit there.
Oh, I think we're good. She likes to sit in her little chair.
Yeah.
We'll go play.
No, it's just up to it.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So mommy's gonna start one, okay? And then you have to do the second one. You have to put the chips. Can you put the chips? 1, 2. Oh. Can you put the second one here? Can you put the second one here, please? Can you put this one there? Thank you. Now I'm gonna do one, and then you're gonna do another one. Hey, here. You put the other one? Yeah, and I finished the other one. There you go. Now can you do 4? Here, 1. Can you do 4? 2, 3, 4. Can you fill number 4? That's 5. Where's 4? There you go. All right, can you fill the rest? Thank you. Here you go. 3 and 4. There you go.
No.
Now I'm going to do 2 and you do 3. And that's 5, okay? 1, 2, and then here you go. 1, 2, 3. There you go. 3. Finish it. There you go.
Good job.
Don't play.
Now we play.
Don't play.
Not yet.
Not with. Hold on. I'm gonna play.
Okay, so basically the early start Denver model really focuses on play and making sure that the child's having fun, and you're working on skills like taking turns, imitating, and your nonverbal communication. So the reading of facial expressions and things like that. Say bye, Delaney.
Say bye-bye.